Very good afternoon. My name is Roscoe. I'm reporting to you from Bluegrass Digital Headquarters in Claremont. And today I'll be taking you through the UX process behind designing a new product. We've got a product. It's called the Bybit. And as the name or as the title suggests, it facilitates weight loss bit by bit. So this is a design brief. This is something we'll get from a client. And just to summarize this in short, we need to design, a couple of genius scientists have developed this very cool little laser, and this laser is capable of shining a laser into your veins, and it's capable of monitoring what your blood sugar levels. Alright, so we have to come up with a product that can help users lose weight. Right, so there's a task. In short, design a device that is able to facilitate the weight loss process. It needs to utilize a technology that is able to read blood sugar levels by shining a laser into the user's veins. Right. So there's obviously a few considerations. This device needs to be attached to the user at all times, and it needs to be placed on an area of the body where it's able to constantly take measurements. Alright, so obviously a lot of research goes into projects like this. And we'll see that we need to obviously look at where the major blood vessels in the body are, so we can obviously position this device in an area that's exposed to the maximum blood vessels. Right, so what I've done there is just done a sort of breakdown in terms of what type of device it is, the user experience of that device, the wearability, so are you able to wear it 24/7, and the tech integration being would that device be able to house the technology that you need and provide the user feedback that it needs. So just to cut a long story short, a watch would obviously give you the maximum sort of value in terms of UX, because it's easily accessible. You can check, you can look at the feedback, you can wear it 24/7, and in terms of tech integration, it can very easily fit into the major mechanism of the watch. Alright, so just drilling down a little bit deeper, we'll see that on the bottom of your wrist actually gives you a slightly better access to veins, but that's not to say that the top of your wrist doesn't allow you some access as well. So you can see that the vein targets on the bottom there are quite a few more, whereas the vein targets at the top, there are 3. Okay, that just gives you an idea of the wearability of the watch. Just in terms of looking at the size of the laser, how it would fit into the design of the watch, and how it would target each of those veins. Here you could even use 3 lasers to ensure that they're having maximum contact to the veins at all times. So how does the blood sugar how does that impact on our weight loss or gain? So basically, in a nutshell, too many calories or carbs, spiked sugar levels, weight gain. Too few calories, or if you skip meals or train on an empty stomach, your blood sugar level drops below the optimum range, and you have weight gain. Alright, so basically what we try and do is keep the blood sugar levels within between 80 mg/dL and 120. That would be the sort of sweet spot. That's what we call in the zone. Right. So there's also just some more research, and also just substantiating how the programming logic should work. Right. So obviously no action required if the levels are within the target zone or the sweet spot, and of course, if it goes too high, perhaps notify emergency services, and too low, the same thing. Research, now it's time to plan. So this is based on some UX research work called the rider, the elephant, and the path. But I've just modified it to call it the user, the goal, the path, and the obstacles. Alright? So this is where it gets a bit interesting. Okay, so this is Lee. Lee has a goal. Lee has a long way to reach his or her goal. And what we have, he's obviously got a few obstacles in the way. So Lee's path won't be easy, and you obviously have to overcome a lot of these obstacles. And of course the goal is obviously to be healthier, fitter, a little bit lighter on his feet, I suppose. So it's a weight loss journey. Okay. So how are we going to assist? How is this technology going to assist Lee in reaching his or her goals? So first we need to understand what these obstacles are. And we also have to understand who Lee is. So Lee's probably either overweight or weight conscious, afraid of not being able to eat what he or she enjoys, so there's a bit of loss aversion there, and probably lacks self-control. So from a planning perspective, Lee would probably be, so he's gone through pre-contemplation about losing weight. He's gone through contemplation, and he's probably on the preparation to action stage, or perhaps if Lee is just looking to maintain weight, he's looking at the maintenance stage over there. So he's probably feeling doubtful, but willing to take the steps to change. Obviously requires motivation, needs to learn techniques to enhance commitment, also perhaps seek support from others who are fit. Obviously requires to be kept aware of situations that could cause a relapse, and needs to be challenged to overcome these obstacles. So, weight loss or weight control. So now having a look at the obstacles in more detail. So it could be lack of self-control, or lack of self-motivation, self-doubt, loss aversion, perceived to be insurmountable. If the weight loss goal for some people could seem like a insurmountable goal, or too difficult. And of course self-control depletion, right at the end there, when it's done so well throughout the day, and right at the end you chow a packet of slab chips or whatever the case is, and you undo all the good work that you've done. So how do we change Lee's behavior? We've got to account for the fact that Lee is both an emotional being as well as a logical being. Alright, so this is basically how you design. You don't just design for logic, because especially when it comes to weight loss, it's an emotional thing. So we need to be designing and providing a solution that motivates the emotions as well as logic. Okay, so I'll just emotion and logic, alright? So these are all the types of things that would help us to motivate for emotion. So reciprocally giving rewards, so perhaps discovery rewards for good behavior, and perhaps taking away those rewards when perhaps they've been a bit naughty. Liking, so people that are similar to Lee, that are going through the same things. So we also want to attach an emotional value to change. So increase happiness, health, feeling more confident, and positioning this within the application, the design, and the solution to be able to sort of motivate for that. Alright, so from a logic perspective, there's obviously a lot of things that we need to use to persuade and motivate from a logic perspective, supplying data, helping him see perhaps where he's gone wrong, just basically providing him with some sort of feedback that he can actually monitor and track his progress in those sort of things. Those all speak to logic. So, lack of self-control, how do we actually design something that tries to negate that? So when Lee sticks within the suggested zone, sugar zone, he gets discovery points, and then of course we just motivate for that as well. Self-doubt, the points thing works as well. Okay, so healthy meal planning. Right, so if the person is not sure if they can do it, by providing them with proper meal planning, it enables them, gives them the ability to be able to negate that thing, right? So awarding points for good at eating habits. So if something seems to be insurmountable, all right, what we need to do is do it day by day, bit by bit, and each day is a new step along this goal path. So what happens if Sunday you've only reached 60% or you've only stayed in the zone for 60% of the day, right? So then we provide ways in which they could make up for that. So the system should be able to say, okay, well, you probably need to run for an hour, walk for 2 hours. So just provide solutions as it does over there. So they also have variations, they have choice. It's not like they're being forced to do one thing. It's like saying, you know, it's not even like the lesser of two evils. It's more like providing them with an option that they feel most comfortable with. And I think that's important as well. Self-control depletion. So the system needs to be able to aggregate all these eating habits, or whenever he's out of the zone at any time. So the system will basically recognize like this, right? So it'll aggregate his data and will actually figure out, okay, on Friday nights from 10 till 12, his sugar levels spike because he's obviously being naughty, and Saturday morning from 2 till 4 after he comes from the party or whatever and he stops up at McDonald's or whatever and he grabs a bite. So the system will literally learn these eating habits and then provide solutions accordingly. So in terms of the design, okay, so how do we now put all of these things together and design something that can actually help Lee out? Alright, so this is a watch. It looks quite similar to an Apple Watch, and then the design could be altered. But I mean, this is to give you a basic idea of what the functionality of the device should be like. So over here we see an overview of these charts, and you can click through that, and you can see, okay, I was out of the zone here a little bit, and so my sugar levels were a bit low from just after 6 a.m. So perhaps I need to eat something there. So it just helps him start reprogramming his mind and seeing, you know, where he needs to concentrate on. All right. So that's that. Go to the menu, so we can go to today's levels. Yeah. You can go to hourly levels. All right. So you can see exactly. This could be color coded as well to see, you know, where exactly you went wrong and where you went right. And then you can do weekly sugar levels, so you can also see on a weekly basis where his, you know, where his naughty bits are. And of course that can be aggregated for on a monthly basis as well. Alright, let's go back to the menu. So my rewards, so this is quite important. So this app should obviously merge with the Discovery app. So this week you can see he's scored 1,200 points. That gives him 3 out of 5 trophies for the week. This month, also more or less the same results. And I can click to see the breakdown here. Okay, so he was in the zone for 80% of the day, 5% he was out of the zone, below, and 15% out of the zone above. Okay, and then time-based eating suggestions. So, based on where Lee was out of the zone, the system can give him eating suggestions. But before we do that, Lee would first have to configure the device itself. So you would need to add his weight. Well, first of all, what his goals are. So perhaps it's weight loss. Into your weight, 85, obviously you specify kilograms, height, 0.75 meters, age, goal weight, 6, and save. Right, so now you view your goal progress overview. So target goal, 80 kilograms, in the zone. So this is an aggregate of the data, right? So you're quite good. You're 80% of the time in the zone. Average calories per day, 2,200, and then the system should be able to use all of this data, use the aggregated data, and predict how long it will take Lee to reach his or her goal. The system will say, okay, Lee, you're out of the zone for 20% of the day today, and so to make up, what you could do is either walk for 120 minutes, swim for 30 minutes, skip for 45 minutes, or cycle for 45 minutes. So Lee knows when he's in the gym tomorrow morning, he knows exactly what to do, or he's got some options at least of what he could do to actually make up for yesterday. So it allows him to keep on track. If they really, this also helps him to be motivated to know that if I do slip up one day, it's not the end of the world. I can actually, if I want to, I can work at it and try and make up for it. So it equips, it enables users to be able to meet their goals, and I think that's really important. Okay, what else? So, community. So it's important for users to identify with other users that are going through the same thing. Okay, so what we do is we form like a community and it's kind of almost gamify it a bit. Alright, so yeah, everybody that has this app and this device and it's linked to the app, they'll all go into into categories based on their weight. So perhaps 80 to 100 kgs. So yeah, you can see Lee is ranked 13th out of 10,300. Wow, that's fantastic, Lee. So you can see exactly how he's ranking within his category, and perhaps if he wasn't doing well, perhaps he was 10,000 out of 10,300. For a lot of people, competition is a motivating factor as well. So you're like, nah man, I can't be down here, I need to push harder. So either way, it's a motivating factor. So basically, this screen will pop up very sporadically. So it'll pop up perhaps in the mornings before work from about 5 o'clock till 8 o'clock in the morning, and then around lunchtime, and then in the evenings from 6 p.m. all the way to 10 p.m. And basically, it will just say something like the daily challenge, and this one's called Burn Baby Burn. And all it says is burn 500 additional calories by 10 p.m. tonight and receive an entry trip to the Seychelles. So, I mean, this is also an opportunity for marketers or companies to market their products. It's an opportunity to sort of generate revenue for the developers of the app, and also for marketers to market these products and services. And of course, if you accept it, you click accept, the timer starts running, and it tells you, what are you waiting for? Better get going, and it'll tell you it'll give you the options of run, walk, hike for 40 minutes, cycle for 1.5 hours, whatever the case is. So users know exactly, if I want to burn this 500 calories now, this is exactly what I need to do. So that's also just, again, smoothing the path, removing the obstacles, giving them a clear goal and enabling them to reach that goal. Mini goals, but all these mini goals add up to the greater goal at the end of the day. Alright, so that's the game zone. Add support users. So from an emotional perspective, it's always very important for people that, especially if you know this is a big goal for them, a lifestyle change, they need to have support from users. So they can add support users here. So they just add their name and surname, the email address, and their cell number. So whenever Lee reaches a sort of mini goal, earns some good points for the week, or whatever the case is, these users will get a notification to say, Lee's done really well this week, please give him a shout. And you know, so that creates a need to want to get more of those sort of emotional, motivational factors. You know, so they'll get addicted to those sort of things. And for certain people, it's important to get sort of recognition from family and friends and loved ones, and support in that way as well. So again, emotionally, so catering for the emotional side and supporting that side. And of course, if Lee's done really well, or perhaps if or really badly and maybe slipped up in the week, it can send a message to those support users to try and give Lee a word of encouragement to help him get back on, And of course, this can be activated or not activated. So if you don't want to feel like you're being watched all the time, you don't have to sort of activate this part of the app. Then, last but not least, in terms of the app functionality, we've got the self-control depletion mechanism. So as we said, self-control depletion generally happens when you're tired and you sort of don't have the time or the energy or the inclination to go and get those fresh foods and make yourself a healthy, fresh meal. So the system learns the user's behavior, and he knows, okay, supper time after a long day, this is generally when Lee slips up and perhaps just goes and grabs a burger or whatever the case is. So the app knows this is about to happen, because at 6 p.m. in the evenings, it's realized and it's learned that this is where Lee's sugar levels generally spike. So it'll send him a message, hey Lee, you're doing great, the time is 6 p.m. In order for you to reach your goal, and then it gives him a list of meal suggestions based on his age, weight, height, and all of those things, sex, and all those things. Alright, so I'll just say a basic one like 150 grams of lean meat or protein, 150 grams of greens, and avoid sugars and carbs. So it's a simple, it's not going to guarantee that he's going to follow this, but it's at least equipping him, and it's just putting that little, planting that seed that, listen, it's not that difficult. There's literally 2 components to this meal. It's 150 grams of lean protein or meat, and 150 grams of greens. Surely I can go and get that out of my fridge and just whip that up quickly. So yeah, those are basically all the current functionalities. Of course, this can be expanded upon, but what it does is, likely going back to the original conversation about motivating the logical mind as well as the emotional mind. You can see how all of these elements speak to various parts of that sort of ecosystem.